This Shabbat gives us a beautiful insight into the power and importance of education. The opening verse begins by saying, Emor la Kohanim b'nei Aharon, say to the Kohanim, the priests who are the sons of Aaron, v'amarta alehem, and you'll say to them. Say and say, tell them and tell them. And the commentaries wonder why the verse would repeat the word tell. And Rashi, our foremost powerful commentary on the Torah, explains, Emor v'amarta means lahazhir gedolim alaktanim. Teach the elders to in turn teach the young. Education hasn't happened if we're only imparting information or even skills. We need to impart with a passion that wakens the recipient of the information to themselves want to become a teacher. Teach it in a way that it becomes something that spreads, that the recipient of the information wants to continue to teach it, that this generation sees that the next generation is also going to be taught it, and they too will become teachers. Say it and say it. Say it in a way that it will continue to spread. But what is interesting is that this terminology is only used in very specific areas in the Torah, 3 in the entire Torah. One is this Shabbat subject, which talks about priesthood, the responsibilities of the Kohanim, the priests, to live to a higher standard. But it also says these same words relating to the prohibition against eating blood and relating to the prohibition against eating insects. And these 3 areas of the Torah represents different areas that we would think that education is not going to help. We might give up. We might think that it's not worth the battle because it's impossible. It's not going to happen. So we stop educating because we think it's not going to work. And these 3 realms are the person who is the insect eater. He represents an individual in society that has fallen in stature, no longer lives up to normal human practice, has begun to live in a depraved way. And worse than that, society around that individual lends it a mantle of acceptability, respectability, so that things that were not acceptable become very much part of an individual's life. So a person might think, how do you speak to such a person? If a person is an insect eater, a person who's lost the human spirit, knowing exactly how we should behave in front of God and to one another, what happens if we really are depraved? Says the Torah, Emor v'amarta, say it and tell them. Tell them again and again. Tell them in a way that they will tell. Don't give up on education, because if you educate with the right words and the right timing and with the right sense of love and care for the individual, you can lift the person who has fallen. And the second realm relates to addiction, because the Talmud tells us that blood, as impossible it is to believe today, was the rage of the day. People drank blood as an energy drink. They believed that this would give them power, and it was so widespread that everybody was drinking blood. This represents the realm of addiction, where society as a whole has embraced a behavior pattern that is so widespread that a person will say, how do you make a dent in a society where this has now become the norm? Everyone is doing it. Everyone behaves that way, so we give up. Emor v'amarta, tell it again. Education can work even if we need to address a society that is so far spread wide in an activity that is inappropriate. We can make a change if we address it with honesty and with integrity and with devotion and with commitment. We can turn around a society that is addicted to something that is causing it harm. And the third realm is our subject this week, which talks about the priesthood. And there a person can say, it's not worth trying to educate for things that are spiritual and esoteric, that are beyond our tangible experience. We live in a world with assets and with finances and with careers and with tangible things. We're going to talk about soul and spirit and holiness. Nobody can really touch it and define it in our human terms. These are godly things. We live in an environment that's not open to godly things. Says the Torah that no society, no individual is too far gone to not appreciate something that addresses our spirit and our soul. We all have an inner desire for values and for things that have meaning beyond our tangible experience in this world. Address every situation and every society by aiming higher, by aspiring to things beyond our normal experience, we can talk about spiritual, lofty goals, because deep down, everybody is wanting to have their spirit ignited. So the Torah is telling us, never give up on educating. Never give up on sharing a message with such passion that it will in turn be shared by others. Don't give up on the individual by saying that they are the insect eater too far gone for change. Don't think that society, the blood eaters, who have now accepted a behavior and it become the pattern and the addiction and the regular lifestyle that everyone is living by, address it. And don't think that you can't make people think about things beyond their regular, normal experience. We all can find a way of attaching to soul. Have a beautiful Shabbos.